I'm Victoria Bitzer Wales, and I was working at the National Institutes of Health. I was the Digital Communications Branch Chief in the Office of Neuroscience, Communications, and Engagement, and I was in charge of our digital information strategy, along in partnership with stakeholders and other folks at NIH. And we did a lot of modernization work, getting all of our websites up to speed, and creating better digital experiences for the people coming to them, primarily researchers, but also the public coming to NIH for critical health information. One of the things that I loved and had felt so honored by is to work in public service, because I wanted to wake up every day and be really proud of what I did. I worked incredibly hard to always make sure that, the services that we're providing for the public were useful, accessible, were easy to understand. So my background is in communication, so I'm very interested in information that's very clear, that's very useful, and that we are always keeping the person that's coming to our services and information in mind, top of mind. The best part of being part of the civic tech space in particular is getting to learn from so many different people who are so absolutely inspired to make technology even better. And I had such an opportunity to mesh those two worlds as a digital strategist, where I got to bring my journalism background for storytelling. We did a lot of digital storytelling across all the different roles that I played in government. And then also the modernization piece too, which is pretty important, making sure our interfaces are more user-friendly, and that it's, when people are coming to our websites, they're having the experience that they expect, and maybe even more. They're finding the information that they're looking for quickly, and being really mindful and empathetic for what people are also needing to get done that day, whether it's critical health information or it's a service or a benefit that it's easily findable. So the greatest, I think, impact that public services had on me was it changed me both personally and professionally, was my time in Puerto Rico, when I got to support FEMA building out their digital strategy there. I got to work with people from various different agencies. Something that most people probably don't know is that in a time of crisis, a lot of these different agencies come together to help support, disaster survivors. So we were putting together information in English and in Spanish for both people on the island, but also people, the diaspora or family members who didn't know, how their families were doing. And that was the greatest honor of my life, because I really got to be embedded with the very people that we're serving. We're not just, technologists hiding behind websites or working on things without having that real human experience with the people that we're serving. And I think when we get that opportunity, it's all the more gratifying to know that what you're doing is really impacting people. And I think one of the greatest stories never told, I think, is how much public servants do for everyone. It's just you and me, it's a neighbor, it's a friend. So many of us work in government, making sure, your food is safe, your pet food is safe, other medical devices are safe, right? And really take our jobs so incredibly seriously, so committed to that. I think for me is I always wanted to look back on my life and leave a legacy of purpose. And that purpose for me was to serve others. And so not getting to do that more recently, I think, has been pretty jarring. But I also know that it isn't who I am. My identity is tied to who I am, and who I am is a person who has to give. That's just the person that I've always been, and I will find, my next, great cause along the way.